welcome back to CityLine. I have Tacoma Musical Playhouse in the studio, and you know how much I love Tacoma Musical Playhouse. Please join me in welcoming Kayla Littleton. You are the Director of Education for Tacoma Musical Playhouse. You have the most amazing shoulders that hold a lot of love, grace, and information. It's great to have you on the company.
Great to be here.
You brought with you this very talented woman over here, Mallory Whalen, and boy, before I hear every child in the world running to this studio, you are the actress who is playing Junie B. Jones right now in Tacoma Musical Playhouse.
Yes.
Welcome, my dear. I love that. I was asking you a little bit of some questions ahead of time, and I said, did you ever think you'd be playing Junie B. Jones, and what did you say to me?
No, never.
See, no. I love it when people have plans and then the world goes, oh, think again. Think again. So, Kayla, let's talk about why did you choose Junie B. Jones as one of your family theater productions? Because there are so many great stories. I mean, if I had to be in your office and go through all the scripts, I would have a headache.
Absolutely.
What was it about Junie B. Jones that made you go, the time has come?
Yeah, well, when John and I are looking at shows for family theater, we try and pick things that are children's books that are still being read in schools and in homes. And so we were looking at Junie B. Jones, the musical, which we've done several times before.
You have.
And we were like, well, is it time to do that again? And we came across Junie B's Essential Survival Guide to School, which we'd never seen before.
How timely.
Like, a new Junie B show. And so we thought we just have to grab it now and do it.
Essentials for school. Because I was talking with you before we came on the air about how much theater will teach you about life. And boy, if there was ever a time that we need to be helping our students navigate school, it's coming back in after this pandemic and things are a little uncomfortable. So is there a teaching message that families can receive from this show when you talk about the essentials of school?
Absolutely, there are so many, but the big one for me is the plot of the show is Junie B decides she's going to write a guide to tell the next year's first graders everything they need to know about first grade. And in the beginning,
those first graders.
Oh yes. In the beginning, she thinks she can do it all herself. She goes, I've got this. I know everything you need to know about first grade. I've been here for, 7 months. I can do this. And along the way, she learns that it's okay not to know everything, and it's okay to need help and understand that other people have skills that you might not. So I think that's kind of the big theme of this show.
Look for your helpers, as I knew growing up. So when you think about, because there's, oh my God, I wish to God, oh, here's a beautiful poster of what people are going to see, that I could have a camera and do some outtakes of the rehearsals. What's the most fun part about directing this production? And I know that's a hard question because you only get one.
Very hard. I think it's getting back into this world because I grew up with these books too.
Yes!
And I saw myself in all of these characters, Richie Lucille and Tattletale May and the clumsy and musical Sheldon. So I just love getting to be back in this world that I loved so much when I was, 6, 7 years old and getting to bring it to life with a group of amazing people.
I love that. So we're going to get to you in just a second. And I'm going to ask you to give us your favorite Junie B line here. But I want to ask you, Kayla, so how big is the cast? When I think about, in my mind, I know that children are not playing children, but adults sometimes have a challenge playing children because we've grown up too much. So what's the cast like in terms of their experiences and their backgrounds?
So we have 5 amazing young adults in this cast. 2 of them. Yes, this beautiful cast. 2 of them, including Mallory, are Camp TMP campers who are still in high school, and they get their chance to be on the family theater stage. Then we have 1 college student who was a former camper, Nick Marston, who now has been in all sorts of stuff on the TMP main stage. And then one of our Camp TMP instructors, who recently graduated from PLU, is also in the cast. And then we round out the cast with a young performer whose first show was Miss Nelson back in October.
Yes.
And so Junie B is only her second show ever, and she is incredible.
You have just recreated the environment in which Junie B has to learn on that stage in real life with someone brand new. And I have to tell you, one of the things about TMP I love is the family that grows up like this. Because it makes theater a collaboration, not a competition. Junie B, how are you over there?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am quite well. Junie B, if I had to ask you, or you had to give me your favorite role or favorite line when you play this role in this show, what would it be?
Oh gosh. So I have two, but I want to save one for people who come see the show.
Okay.
But one of the things I say to Tattletale May, because she's kind of like the person I butt heads with the entire time during the show. She's also the girl playing her KK is like one of my closest friends. I love her to death. I say, May, you are honestly positively insufferable. I love that line.
I love that that's a first grader using all those big words.
But the follow-up to that is, May asks what that means, and she goes, I do not know at this moment.
At this moment.
Junie B does not know what that means, but she knows that May is making her feel it.
Yeah, and you know, I love that Junie B has that yet clause in
Yes.
there, which means not yet, but I'll find out. So what is it like playing Junie B. Jones? Did you grow up with Junie B.
Yes.
Jones?
Oh my gosh. So I started reading them in first grade.
All right.
My teacher started, and then I started reading them with my grandma. And my grandma is one of my like closest family members.
What's her name?
Merle Velkers. We love her.
Hi, Merle.
And she would read them to me when I was little, and I just have like, it's just like a great memory I have with her. So it's really like Junie B holds a really special place in my heart. And the character is just so iconic, and I'm just like honored to be able to like try and do her justice.
I love that. I think Junie B is, and I can hear the people in the booth who are around my age nodding their head. It's like the Amelia Bedelia books.
Yes.
Only it's a different time, but they have such great messages in them. So what is it like working with TMP staff and production team? Because they're not new to you.
No. So I've been doing camps since the summer of 2022. I was in The Little Mermaid, which Kayla directed. I was one of the Mer sisters. It was so much fun. And ever since I've been doing TMP, I'm on their youth board staff. I'm the outreach manager this year, and that's been also a lot of fun. And it's just such a good community. Like the people there are just so kind. It's the reason I keep coming back and doing plays is just because all my friends are there. I've started hanging out outside of it, and it just feels like such like a close family where we all just support and love each other. It's just, I love it there.
And John and Jeff have created such a beautiful open door feeling that sometimes when plays they end, we miss those people, we get depressed, and real life is difficult to re-entry back into. But you've got a whole academy where you get to see these people again, which is lovely. What is your acting background like? Do you have actors in your family?
So funny enough, my family's always been very musical, but never like really theatrical, like a little bit, but not really. So I'm kind of the first. And so I started doing musicals in 6th grade at my school. And then I started doing more shows in high school. And then one of my friends was like, hey, have you heard of TMP? And I was like, no, I've never heard of that. And she was like, you should do the show with me this summer. They're doing The Little Mermaid. And I was like, okay, sure. I have nothing really going on over the summer break. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'd love to do that because I love doing theater. So then I just started from there, and I've done, I did the winter break camp, and I was Elle Woods in Legally Blonde, and that's, yes, it was my favorite role ever. I love it so much, and I just look up to her as like a character and a role model, and like yeah. And I just like, have started wearing pink more.
We can tell.
Yeah. And she just has like become such like a good role model. I try to channel her in everything I do now.
I love this. You are just a natural. And I hope that your family is able to play instruments while you dance around the house and sing. So Kayla, what do student field trips look like?
Our student field trips are so fun.
I bet.
We get to have 4 performances the week between the weekends that are exclusively for schools and school groups. And they come in right in the morning. They get to learn a little bit about what coming to the theater is like, see a show, meet the actors, and then go back on their way to school. And this year, we have 4 sold-out performances for the Junie B field trip. So about 350 kids get to come in each day. I'm very excited.
And I have to let the audience know that this is hard work. I mean, I used to direct education at Tacoma Little Theater, and school performances are really difficult. Many times this is the first time they've ever been in a theater, and if you're doing any kind of learning guide to go with it, I mean, it is truly a field trip, so good for you. So, okay. What's coming up next at TMP, Miss Kayla?
So many things.
I know.
So on the TMP main stage, immediately after Junie B, is what I think is probably the most anticipated show of the season, Jersey Boys.
There it is.
I got to sit in on a little bit of rehearsal last night.
No.
It's going to be so good,
Heart
Amanda.
stopping.
So good. So we have Jersey Boys, and then coming up after Jersey Boys is Stepping Out, which is a show about some adults learning how to tap dance later in life and the shenanigans they get up to.
Is that code for something else? Never mind. Stepping out.
And then Camp TMP has a lot coming up too. Our spring break camp starts the first week of April. The elementary kids are doing Junie B Jones Jr. And the teens are doing Mean Girls Jr. And they're all very excited.
We're on an Elle Macpherson roll here. Yes.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And then we just announced our summer camp dates. Those just went out this week, and so registration for that will be here before we know it.
There it is. And people may be like shaking their heads going, summer camp? No, but I want to warn them. These camps have a following, and they have a lot of repeat offenders. They sell out within like a 48-hour time period that you wouldn't expect on January 18th. So parents, don't delay.
Yes, make sure you're watching the website and getting everything ready to go.
I just want to do a quick thank you to anybody who has helped Tacoma Musical Playhouse, because we are out of time, and I could talk with you two for the rest of my life. Thank you for the gift of what you allow to have happen in Tacoma Musical Playhouse, and look for me in the audience because I'm a big Junie B Jones fan.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When we come back after just a little quick break, we are going to have the Boys and Girls Club in the house. You don't want to miss that. We'll be right back.